The way Kickstarter works is that you set up your sales page, your campaign page, and you can set up your different tiers for the different rewards that your backers can opt in and support you at, right? So you set that up and then you hit launch, and you can choose how long your campaign is, and you can choose how much funding you need to make it happen. So for my campaign, for my paperback fiction campaign, I set my funding goal at $500, which would basically cover, the print costs and shipping costs of the books and give me a little boost for the launch of the book. Now, the nice thing is, of course, then you can go on and launch elsewhere afterwards. But for the purposes of the Kickstarter, I set a pretty small goal, again, because I was putting my toe in the water and because I just really wanted to fund those costs. So then you set your time period. So for me, I think mine was a 21-day campaign, which meant I had 3 weeks to convince enough people to back me to achieve that funding goal. So I managed to do that. I got that $500 in a couple hours, which was fabulous, right? So that let me know that I was going to meet that minimum goal, and I was going to be able to fund the print of the paperbacks and all of the costs that were associated with it. If you don't fund on Kickstarter, so if you don't meet that goal, you don't get enough backers to meet your goal, the campaign doesn't fund. I hate to use this word, but it fails. I mean,
sometimes it's just the right word to use.
Right? I don't like looking at it as failure, but it fails. And so none of the backers get charged, and you are not required to complete that Kickstarter. So for example, there are Kickstarters out there. A good example is like a board game, right? They set usually high funding goals because they have bigger costs than we do as authors for books. So if they don't hit that, call it $100,000 funding goal, they don't have to make the game at all. They don't owe it to anyone. But if they do hit that funding goal, they have to fulfill it for their backers. So it's really important to set your funding goal at a level that is achievable, but covers your costs, so that if you are forced to go for it, if you fund, that you can actually afford to make the product.